Hello, hello, hello. Can you believe we are finally having the last new moon of the year, the last new moon of 2024? It feels insane to even talk about, to even say, but hooray to us, we made it this far. This video will be about the new moon in the sign of Capricorn, about what to expect, what it means, how to align with this energy, and what you should do with this energy. If you are interested in that and if you'd like to stay and figure that out, this video is for you. We will also be discussing some journal prompts at the end of this video. So let us get into it. What is a new moon? A new moon is the beginning of a new lunar cycle. This happens both in astronomy but also in astrology. But because this is an astrology channel, we will be talking about the astrology perspective. So a new moon is when the moon is at the darkest point in the sky and it cannot be seen because the sun and the moon are in the exact same sign. And we know, according to astronomy, that the moon gets all of its light from the sun. So if they're in the exact same place, that means the sun is not shining any light on the moon. And that is why the sky is clear on that day and all you see are stars depending where you are, or just blackness if you live in the city and, well, in case the lights mess up the sky. That's a whole different topic. But that is what a new moon is. Energetically, new moons are usually a time for intention setting. Okay, this is a time where you are setting all the intentions that you would like to see happen throughout that lunar cycle until the moon is full. Usually at the end of that month or at the end of that lunar cycle. We are coming towards the end of the year, so I think this new moon is perfectly timed. And it's a special new moon because it is a black new moon. We had a new moon in Sagittarius on the 1st of December, and now we are ending the month with a new moon on the 30th of December. This is known as a black moon. This is an interesting phenomenon that does not occur very often and happens every 29 to 32 years, if I'm not mistaken, according to my sources. But what should you do with the energy of a new moon? So, as mentioned before, this is a time to really set intentions, to really figure out what seeds you would like to plant into the journey of 2025 if you use your life according to the Gregorian calendar, which most of the Western world does. We're coming to the end. This is the last Saturday of the year. As I shoot this video, actually, it's the last Sunday of this year, and tomorrow will be the last Monday of the year, and then the following day will be the last Tuesday, and the 1st of January, which is a Wednesday, marks the beginning of this year of 2025, rather. And so this is really a time to figure out what you would like to do with this energy 3 days before and 3 days after. And now, because it is in the sign of Capricorn, which I think is so perfect, that new moons at the end of the year will be in Capricorn. And this is because Capricorn is an earth sign. Earth signs are known as being hardworking, determined, very grounded in whatever aspect or elements or themes that zodiac sign highlights. And Capricorn is a cardinal earth sign. Cardinal means creative, leadership, really liking to do things and focus on things and like practically do things, right? Whereas, for example, fixed signs are more determined and mutable signs are more adaptable. Cardinal signs are just really creative. They are the more creative zodiacs out of all the other zodiac signs. And now that it is an earth sign, it's just all about really being ambitious and disciplined and having accountability. Because it is a new moon, it is a time for relaxation. Most of us are usually taking leave from work if you're in the Western world, but if you're like me, you are not on leave right now and your only break is the weekends. But it's still time to really rest, relax, really sit with yourself and figure out what you need, and just to come back to yourself where you're not in constant work mode. It's a good time to draw energy to yourself. Sometimes you want to socialize with people who you connect with, but sometimes you don't want to do that, depending on who you are. And And because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is the strict teacher in astrology, this is a time to be very strict and honest with yourself about how you're going to achieve those goals in 2025. It's all good and well to use this new moon to rest and set intentions and have goals, but I love Capricorn because Capricorn is all about the how. It's not just the want, it's very much now like the actual practical step-by-steps of how you plan to reach your short, midterm, and long-term goals. And this is a time to do that. Chiron will also be coming to an end from its retrograde. Chiron is an astral body for those who are new to astrology. It is an astral body that is known as the wounded healer. The wounded healer because Chiron is able to heal everyone but himself. And it being in retrograde means that all the energy that we spend healing everything external from us, we were using this time from, I think, if I'm not mistaken, pretty much in the middle of this year until now to really deal with internal issues and stuff that are happening within us. And this was a time to really figure out how we were going to do that. It was in the sign of Aries. Aries is the first zodiac sign. Firstly, it is a fire sign. It is also a cardinal fire sign, so all about creativity and really getting to the depths of our trauma and the things that we hold so heavily. And now this is about how can we use our personal power or our personal healing to empower ourselves. And now that that's come to an end, what lessons have we learned about healing ourselves that we can use to go into 2025, but also to help those around us who might need healing in 2025 and transformation in 2025. Mars, which is in Leo, is opposing Pluto. So oppositions are usually very like, it's in the word. This transit means that there will be a little bit of tension. It's all about action. And this is because Mars is in Leo, and Mars is, like I said, a planet of action, activity, anger, sex drive, vitality, all of those things, with opposition with Pluto, which is all about a planet of transformation, secrets, and destruction, but also rebuilding. So it's really about that, looking at how that will affect the general public and how those in power will affect the general public. And there'll be a lot of transformation. There's already here in Korea, I'm currently living in South Korea, for those of you who don't know, there's been a lot of things happening politically with the president wanting to call a military state or what was it? There was a term. I try not to get too deep into politics, but there was a term where he wanted to have basically the army like on the street, like soldiers on the street, and have a curfew of sorts. And the people are just not happy. Korean people are like, we're not doing that. We're not about that. So there will be some opposition right now. You will see that come up over the next few days between the general public and those in power. And we mean political power. Jupiter in Gemini, Jupiter, which is a planet of luck and expansion and growth and abundance, in the sign of Gemini, which is an air sign, a mutable air sign, all about adaptability, creativity, socializing, and intelligence, will have a square with Saturn. And that is another thing. A square is usually 90 degrees, which is also not always a pleasant or rather easy transit. Will be with Saturn, which I mentioned is the strict teacher and also the ruler of Capricorn, is about a time of how to explore and expand our desires and our communication and look at how we will make our grand plans happen, like with details, like looking into the details. Are we being too dreamy? Are we being too air sign? Are we being too ideological and not enough practicality? And that's what's going to be happening. And I think that's perfect for this new moon, because I think we all get so excited, like new year, new me, new me, new me, new year, new me, da, 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 da. Okay, but how? But how? But how? And like, we don't sit and ask ourselves the how. We are too idealistic sometimes with our goals, and then we wonder why they don't happen. And this energy at the end of the year is really pushing us to be like, be disciplined, you know? That's what I love about Capricorn. You know, they have a rep as in the astrology community to be like hardworking and just doing too much and never knowing how to rest and always bragging about how much they get done. But the reality is they do get a lot of things done. I know a lot of Capricorns in my life personally who are hardworking and are not shy about doing the hard and difficult thing to get what they want. And I know a lot of us, we live, especially if you're quite a spiritual person, it's always about working smart and not working hard. And yes, to a certain extent, but sometimes even working smart takes working hard, whether that might not be physical labor, but like mental labor, as in going to therapy, figuring out your traumas with this Chiron retrograde, or it might be spiritual labor, like really looking into it and being like, we just came out of Sagittarius season. What lessons did I learn about my philosophy and my spirituality that are going to help me continue into 2025 to become the person that I know I have been destined and created to be? And so I really look forward to 2025 as the year that it's going to be. If you're interested in numerology, you will also know that it adds up to 9. 2 plus 2 is 4, 5 plus 4 is 9, and 9 is the number of releasing and letting go. And I've already started to do so much of that, like in this year, towards the end of this year, like really releasing. Oh my goodness, I kid you not. Wait, hold on. I kid you not. This is so cool. It's 999. And that's an angel number for releasing and letting go. I didn't even plan that. But it's just a time to really, think about what things you need to let go of in 2025 for the life that you want to build when it's 2035. By the time I will be 34, and I don't know how old you whoever's watching this is, but that's 10 years from now. And in order to really grow and expand, you need to let go of the unnecessary weights that are holding you down, whether it's yourself, your mentalities, your habits, or places and people. So it's really a time to think about that while you're setting all your intentions. Figure out what is holding you back from actually implementing those intentions in a practical way. Okay, this will lead me to my 2025 this will lead us to the journal prompts. We are now moving to the journal prompts portion of this video. I will make these up on the spot because I'm spontaneous and I'm an Aquarius and I kind of like being quirky and just doing what I want. So what would you like to say to yourself 2025 so picture yourself in December 2025, around the last week of 2025. What would you like to say to yourself about the things you've done? How would you like to speak to yourself? And what kind of a person do you hope to be by then? This is scripting more than journaling, but it's still a form of manifestation that I think is really cool when you write to yourself, like in a way that something has happened. So the question, or rather the prompt in this question is, how would you like to speak to the December 2025 version of you? Next, where in your life and how in your life will you start implementing structure to help you reach your goals and intentions in 2025? How will you reach your spiritual goals? How will you reach your financial goals? How will you reach your career goals? How will you reach your relationship goals? How will you reach your health goals? And how will you make sure you stay consistent? I know these are not easy journal prompts, but like I said, sometimes you have to do the working hard, which is the actual working smart, because just saying I want to be rich and not being able to tell me how, does nothing for you. And lastly, because it is the end of the year and Capricorns sometimes do have a rep of being too hard on themselves and working too hard, I would rather, instead of thinking too much about the future, think about the present and think about the last year and the past. It's always so good to reflect. I know we like to say don't look back, you're not going there, but that's the whole point of history. We have to look back at history to make sure we don't repeat the same mistakes, right? So how would you like to thank yourself for places you showed up in 2024? What promises did you keep to yourself that you are proud of? And if you feel like you've kept no promises to yourself, how can you show yourself grace for making it to the end of this year? Because life is not easy. So sometimes you just need to show yourself some grace. Yeah, those are my really on the spot prompts. I'll answer the third one because my promise to myself, especially if I'm going to start sharing my myself on social media is to be vulnerable. This does not mean telling my entire life story, because I'm still a person who believes in privacy. With that said, I also believe in authenticity, and building a community and a relationship requires some authenticity. So what promises have I kept to myself? I remembered who the F I was. Yeah, I look back and I think in Capricorn season, and during the Capricorn new moon of this year, if there was one, surely there was, or in Capricorn season, which was January, compared to me now, I really was intentional with my weight loss journey. And I understood that my weight loss journey had less to do with the physical weight, but more to do with the emotional weight that contributed to the physical weight. Does that make sense? So I am proud of myself for the discipline that I had, the consistency that I had to do an average of 100,000 steps a week. So that's like 10 a day. If 100, like a little bit more, a little bit less. Drinking water, getting accurate sleep, cutting down on alcohol, cutting down on fast foods, and making sure that I don't go one single day without eating some kind of fresh fruit or fresh vegetable, even if it was in the form of a smoothie, because fruits are expensive in Korea. But yes. And then another thing that I'd like to pat myself on the back for was being intentional about who I allowed to have access to me, friendship-wise, romantically, and even family. I am in a place where I'm so happy with the relationships I have built. Most importantly, with the relationship I've built with myself, as I'm about to give my government name now. I have a fear of doing that now because of the friends I've made. But as Ukwezi, I've done so much for myself. And I love the relationship I've built with myself. And I've made friends. I've lost friends. But I've kept ones who've shown me that they value me and my presence. And I fell in love. So I'm an Aquarius, so I'm kind of weird about stuff like that, okay? But yes, someone's son has my heart, and I have his, and I actually could have only done that because of the promises I kept to myself and made to myself in the middle of this year and at the beginning of this year. So yeah, that's how I answered question 3. If you guys want to answer any of the questions in the comments, please let me know, or question 1 or 2. Thank you much, Salona. Thank you so much for watching my last video of the year, not ever. And here's to many more. Happy New Year. I hope you had an amazing Christmas, or celebrated. For those who celebrate, I hope you have an amazing festive season. And just really remember, my favorite thing, my favorite quote in the world is, live your life in love, because there is so much to love, and so little to fear. Thank you so much. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed almost 20 minutes of yappy honoring. Okay. Happy New Year. Bye.